Hello folks, the secret recipe for cracking any competitive exam is an ambitious yet effective study plan. This video can only be used as a reference point to chalk out your own study plan for the next 5 months. And don't worry, it is possible to crack the exam with a solid preparation of 5 months. I assure you that at the end of this video, all your doubts and inhibitions will be resolved and hopefully you will be one step closer to achieving your dream. Now, let us delve into the broader targets that you should be looking out for regarding each subject. Your study plan should be a reflection of your strengths and weaknesses with respect to a particular subject and how much effort you want to put into its preparation. But all the sections should be prepared irrespective of the fact. We should be cautious while setting targets every day, as it should not be too ambitious, otherwise burnout is a sure cause. To give an analogy, we are not playing a T20 match but a test match. You're not expected to hit it out of the park every day. Adequate, consistent efforts will bear its fruit. Find that temperament within you. Keeping broader targets for each month will go a long way because you only have 5 months for a syllabus which is ideally covered in a year. But that's a bonus for you, as all the topics will be fresh in your mind compared to others who began early and have forgotten a good chunk of what they learned. English section of the CLAT question paper cannot be attempted by cramming up the syllabus. It needs to be prepared consistently. So come what may, do not bail on English. It's a subject we all take for granted and end up losing a lot of marks because of sheer overconfidence. You can prepare for the section by following the tips given below. Read newspapers. Read some good newspapers and magazines daily. While reading, do not forget to go through the editorial section of the paper. It's the most important part of a newspaper as it helps develop opinions about a topic which will further help you understand the arguments and statements laid out in the passage. 2. Have discussions. Engage in regular discussions with your peers or study group. You can discuss a particular passage from the CLAT English section and try to figure out the main theme, arguments and conclusions set out in the passage together. 3. Practice grammar. To improve your English grammar, it is a must that you practice and practice. You do not need to pick up any fancy book, but can just start from any good class 10 grammar book. Next is to improve your vocabulary. Improving English vocabulary needs consistent effort and practice. You can improve it by finding and memorizing the meaning of any new word that you come across while reading a book or the newspaper. Pay close attention to the wordings used in the questions. Sometimes the language can be twisted to judge your reading comprehension skills. The passage practice can depend on how often you get the right answers. You can increase or decrease the number of passages according to that. But the other portions of the English section are endless, for which no preparation will be truly adequate. On the brighter side, the more you practice those portions, the less scary it becomes. Testing your skills is essential to identify the flaws in your study plan. Don't be disheartened if you don't have a phenomenal score right away. It takes time. But with thorough revisions, you will eventually get there. Next up is the GK section. This section can be prepared easily if you regularly keep a track of all news and events around the world and of national importance. Even if you don't, relax. Just skim through our monthly digests and you will have an idea of all the controversial stories and legal judgments regarding current events. Apart from this, monthly digests will also help in increasing your awareness about general knowledge related to personalities and events, awards and recognitions, history and art and culture. Listed below are some newspapers, magazines and apps that you can refer to keep your GK and current affairs up to date. In newspapers, The Hindu, GK Today, The Telegraph, Economic Times are all suggested. Under magazines, The Chronicles, Outlook India, India Today, etc. are suggested. Focus more on Indic Law test papers than past year papers for GK. As of the past year papers are only useful to the extent of static GK questions. And observing the trend in the last couple of years, the majority of the questions under this section are from current GK and not static GK. Make sure you have ample time to revise all the relevant facts, because any study plan without revision is just a waste of time and energy. Remember, your primary goal is not to cover everything that is possibly there to study. Your goal should be to be able to recollect whatever you studied when you need it in the examination hall. Now we move to the legal reasoning section. CLAT legal reasoning is one of the highest weighted sections of the exam and thus should not be taken lightly. The section will include reading passages of about 450 words on legal matters, public policy questions, and moral philosophical inquiries. The best way to master this section is by improving your reading and analytical skills. For the same, you can follow the preparation strategy mentioned below. Spend at least 1 hour every day reading good newspapers, magazines, and blogs related to static and current legal issues. Go through all the important cases decided in the last 1 year at all the new amendments and enactments done in the Parliament and all other contemporary issues. This can be slowly finished during the course of the 5 months with room for at least 1 revision. Solve as many past year papers and model test papers of Indic Law as you possibly can. That will be more than enough to score high marks in this section. Remember to not be driven by your personal biases and focus only on what the principle of the question demands you to do. Next up is logical reasoning. This section of the CLAT exam is closely related to English language and legal reasoning sections. Therefore, you can adopt a similar preparation strategy as for English and legal reasoning. Some of the important topics to prepare for CLAT logical reasoning section includes logic games, syllogism, relationships, and analogies. Exercise caution while solving passage questions. You will get the hang of it once you've done enough questions. But this section, like English, demands daily practice and weekly revisions in a slightly vigorous way, as you have to be adept with the tricks and formulae involved in such questions. Solve these questions first, which seem easy to you. This will be a major boost to your self-confidence. Once such questions are out of the way, you can move to the tough ones. And even in the tough ones, remember, not every question is meant to be solved. With enough practice, you will easily identify the questions that you're supposed to skip. Our goal in the study plan is exactly that, managing your time in an effective and efficient manner. This is where the role of test papers becomes crucial. Time yourself regularly while attempting such papers and you will find a gradual improvement in it as long as you remain consistent with your efforts. Now we have the mathematics section. You need to recollect basic fundamentals of the Class 10 mathematics syllabus if you've not studied the subject in Class 11 and 12. You will have to cover the CLAT mathematics syllabus by understanding one concept per day and practicing mock papers alongside. The section will carry 13 to 17 questions only, but there is negative marking too for wrong attempts. Therefore, you should be careful and practice well for the section by clearing difficult concepts, understanding formulae, and using mock papers. Candidates need to spend at least 3 months to develop speed and accuracy in this section ideally. It will vary from person to person. How often you need to include mathematics in your timetable is your discretion, depending on whether it was a strong suit for you in school or not. Nevertheless, the important topics to prepare for the section would include basic algebra, ratios and proportions, mensuration and statistics, which cannot be missed. With this, we have come to the end of this video. As promised, I hope you have enough confidence to kickstart your preparation on full throttle. Stay tuned for more insights regarding CLAT UG 2022. Have a good day and all the best.